Good morning. My name's Kate Seagroves. This is a 10-minute introduction of me for EMS instructor methodology. As you can see, I am here at work. Definitely not one who normally waits until the last minute, but it's been a busy couple days. 4 teenagers definitely takes a lot, and it's not uncommon to run out of hours in a day. But anyways, again, my name's Kate Seagroves. I am a Johnston County paramedic. Been a medic about 11 years. But kind of going back to the beginning, I was born and raised in upstate New York, about 45 minutes from the Montreal border. Born into kind of a public service family. My dad was head of parole for the state of New York. I have a younger sister who is now a lawyer. And both my mom and my dad worked for the prison system, so definitely the public service world. I was born in the 80s, so grew up in that kind of era. Very small town, smaller than anything around here. In fact, it was a prison town, so 2/3 of the population of the town that I grew up in was actually behind bars. But it was a small town, everybody knows everybody. You were outside from the time you got up until the time you went to bed. That was normal. You came home when it was time to eat, and that was about it. I went to the same high school that my dad graduated from. I was very into sports. I played soccer, basketball, as well as softball, and swam a lot in the summer. I played on several different travel teams. Sports were definitely the thing that I lived for as a kid. That's all I did all day, every day. Like I said, outside from the time I got up until the time I went to bed. When I was in school, it was, you got finished with the school day and you immediately went to practice. Depending on what the sport was, they went from before the school year started until right up until the end. I would leave one practice just to go to another. From there, I went to a four-year college in Brockport, New York, which is between Rochester and Buffalo. I went there for a year. I really didn't care for it very much, and I ended up transferring to a community college back in the area that I was from. So I guess it's kind of true. When you're young, you end up back where you're comfortable. Once I graduated from community college, my little sister had moved to North Carolina. She went to Wake Tech and then on to Wilmington, but she really loved it here. There was a lot more job opportunities. I really wasn't interested in working for the prison system. My original 2-year degree was in human resources, human services. I took a lot of childhood development, adult development, as well as a lot of courses in human resources. When I moved here, my plan was to go back to school. I really wanted to go into nursing. That's kind of what I had decided. But life doesn't always go as planned. I ended up getting married and having 2 kids and working in an HR department. I worked there for almost 10 years, and in the 2008-2009 timeframe, I was laid off, just like a lot of people. And that was kind of my moment where I got the chance to go back to school. I enrolled at JCC in an EMT class. I was hoping to get back to work so that I could go to nursing school, and I ended up falling in love with being on an ambulance. I immediately, as soon as I finished my EMT, being that I had 2 small kids, they were 3 and 5, I really couldn't take the time to work as an EMT, and some people here at the county convinced me that I should go straight into medic class. So I did that. I have never worked a day of my career as an EMT. I worked elsewhere while I was in school. I worked in a daycare. I worked in a restaurant. I did, whatever I needed to do for my family, which has always been, number one, still is. And I, like I said, went straight into medic class. It was really, really difficult, having never worked in EMS, to go straight from one into the next. But with a lot of hard work and a lot of help from my kids, I made it. I had, like I said, a 3-year-old. He ended up 4 when I graduated medic, but he probably could have passed my paramedic exam because he was my study buddy. Anytime that I was in carpool line or even just riding in the car, he had my flashcards and he was constantly quizzing me and helping me get through the material, which for a 4-year-old, sometimes it meant he was having to tell me the letters of whatever it was in the question so that I could get through it. But like I said, I absolutely never would have made it through class if it wasn't for my kids, my 4-year-old especially. Which is funny because he, even as a little kid, and to this day cannot stand a drop of blood, he is immediately sick. So the fact that he could get through it with me was a godsend for sure. Around that time, going through medic class, everything was really stressful with 2 small kids, and I ended up getting a divorce. But in medic class, I met my husband, who was in the class with me. I really wasn't a big fan of his while we were in class. I am the studier who will give it everything that I have to make sure that I do well, whereas he is the, never had to buy the book and still was first in the class. You all know him, of course, because he's in this class as well. So we are definitely night and day. But together we have 4 kids. We have one who is about to be 20, one who's 19, and then we have 2 16-year-olds. One is going to be 17 in a week. The other is going to be 17 next month. One of them is a junior in high school and one of them is a senior. So we are almost to the point of being empty nesters. If anyone leaves, that is. Not that we want them to, but I'm sure it's coming. Our oldest 2 are currently enrolled at Johnston Community College as well. One in a journalism transfer program, and the other trying to get through her prerequisites for nursing. So she's kind of following or wanting to follow in the healthcare footsteps. Some other stuff about me. I am definitely an overachiever. I can't stand to wait until the last minute, so this video has been stressing me out all week, trying to figure out when I was going to fit it in. We currently live in Clayton, but we also love the beach, and we have a camper set up down near Emerald Isle. So we do a lot of back and forth, a lot of driving, but we love it. We wouldn't have it any other way. Like I said, I work here for Johnston County as a paramedic, as does my husband. We also have side businesses. My husband is a realtor and a general contractor, and trying to fit everything in, as well as his home inspections, takes a lot out of all of us. We definitely had to learn as the kids got older how to figure out how to balance everyone's busy schedules and making it all work, but we seem to be pretty good at it these days. We are a big Jeep family. Every one of the 6 of us all have a Jeep. We just bought the youngest daughter one just a few weeks ago, so that takes up a lot of time as well. Having 6 definitely requires a lot of maintenance. There's a lot of things to do, especially when you're back and forth a couple hours several times a week. My parents still live in upstate New York, but they also are snowbirds and go to Florida in the winter, so that works out well. They are able to visit often. They stop on their way to Florida, on their way back, and we all kind of stay in touch a lot more than most families that live 700 miles away do. My mom's actually here visiting this week, which is some of why it's been so hectic and crazy. Trying to fit 8 people in a house is a lot, but we managed to make it work. We do have a friend who stays with us who needed some help, so she's staying with us as well. We're definitely those people. We live to help others. This is, all that I know. Even having worked in HR, that was definitely what I did. I worked in health and insurance, and my specialty was the older population, helping them coordinate with Medicare, helping them get all of the things, all of their needs met. So that's just kind of me as a whole. I look forward to finishing up this class and to getting to know all of you better. Thanks.